What's happening, everyone? Welcome back into the Fantasy Stock Exchange. We have our 7 round mock draft series continuing here with the NFC West, the first part of this division. We have the Arizona Cardinals 2020 NFL mock draft. Danny, how you feeling today?
Feeling good. Again, Bush prefaced it. Arizona Cardinals today, 7 round 2020 NFL draft. We're going to go over with them. This is a team that's made a lot of moves in the offseason. I mean, we're all familiar with the DeAndre Hopkins trade at this point. Gave up some capital in this draft class, but I mean, when you're acquiring a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, it's more than worth it. But yeah, especially at that 8 spot, that clears up a lot of confusion as to where we can go. So, what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a pretty wide open pick. I know their offensive line could use some work. Their defense could use some work. We know their defense was not good last year. Even once Patrick Peterson returned off suspension, their defense still struggled to stop the pass and the run. So definitely going to be a blue chip player for them to pick at 8.
For sure, for sure. Now, this is gonna sound a little like jokish, whatever, but you go into a Chase Edmonds stream. By the way, one of the most oddest guys. Literally asked him, I'm like, "Hey, what do you want the Cardinals to take at A?" He's like, "Best offensive lineman, or give me that big boy Derek Brown in the middle." So we'll see what happens at 8. But I mean, he sounds
That's
like he
funny,
knows.
man.
Yeah, I was gonna say he sounds like he knows what he's talking about there. A little random, but
Yeah.
so his boy just went
Derek
off.
Brown got sniped. All right.
Yeah. Uh,
So there's a couple options here. To me, I have Javon Kinlaw and Derek Brown literally one spot ahead, like behind each other. Like they're very, very close to me. So if we
I
want to
agree.
address the defense, to me the pick is Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, I'm down. Like again, like I also really love Kinlaw and Brown. I like either one of them can go flip flop for me. To me though, like as much as I love like the fact of getting that interior rusher, I'm looking at Kyler Murray, man, and I'm looking at that offensive line, and I'm looking at Jedrick Wills right now.
Jedrick Wills would be my pick as well.
You plug
To be honest, my pick would be Tristan Wirfs actually, but Tristan Wirfs went off the board already. I think Tristan
yeah,
Wirfs is the most being the most
athletic
mobile of the tackles and the most athletic would be the one that I think the Cardinals would prefer.
for their system.
But Jedrick Wills is my top rated tackle, and he's also mobile and athletic in his own right. He's not like a statue by any means. So, yeah, to me, it's between Kinlaw and Jedrick Wills.
I'm looking at it. For me, why I would prefer Wills is simply because they have Humphreys locked up for the next couple of years. So you plug in Jedrick Wills to your right side, you give Murray another pass protector. But again, like depending on what you want to do here, if you want to go Wills, if you want to go Kinlaw, I'm totally open. So what are you thinking here?
It's tough, man. I think you're an offensive team. You got DeAndre Hopkins now. You got a young quarterback. You want to progress. I say you go for the tackle. You want Kyler Murray to be successful. So
Let's do
if
it.
if your defense sucks again this year, it's going to be an all defense draft next year, I guess. So
Exactly. If your defense sucks again next year, then you're gonna have another high pick on a great defensive class next year. Like next year's defensive class is gonna be insane as well. So
yeah, there's some
uh
good pass rushers that you can get your hands on as well. So
for sure, for sure. So yeah, plug Jedrick Wills in there at 8. Kinlaw goes off the board next pick. Just looking at the draft. And then a nice little receiver run. You would
love
love
that.
that.
Yeah, that's the if Andrew Thomas falls to Tampa, I'll be really ecstatic about that.
Yeah,
But
I like
yeah,
McKinney as a player,
the
but
the offense defense thing, I actually really like that. The with teams who have a lot of holes, teams like the Dolphins, teams like the Cardinals, teams like if you have both sides of the ball aren't very good, focus on one and build it up, and then the next year focus on the other. I kind of like that idea as opposed to spreading my resources across both. I
because
really I really like the idea of that.
I like that as well because that way, like you can set your offense up, or say like I don't want to say like a bunch of times, but like if you miss on a pick, it's easier to kind of like make up for it if you put it all into the offense or put it all into the defense because okay, this position missed, but we filled up all of our other offensive needs, so like we're kind of like set on that regard if that makes sense.
Thank God Lucas Niang got picked there because I would have been really mad if Lucas Niang was available at this pick.
Yeah, and we
Um, yeah, and we took freaking if we took Kinlaw and we got Lucas Niang here, that would have been awesome. But that didn't happen. So
would you, I was gonna say here,
I don't like the
72
board
here.
here.
I was gonna say, what are your thoughts on Cam Dantzler here?
I think they like Byron Murphy, and I know Patrick Peterson's not the youngest guy in the world. I just don't think corner is the way to go. I think they have to go front seven on
Okay.
defense. If they're going defense, they have to go front seven, in
We
my
could
opinion.
check. I mean, Grenard, Taylor, Anai, one of those guys is going to be really good fits. But I mean, we could look across the
What
board
about
here.
IDL? What's IDL looking like?
Oof.
Ugh, that's not good.
Yeah. We check linebacker as well. Harrison Brooks. I love it. I love Davis Gaither like a lot. But
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Can you go strong safety for a second? I just want to see something. Or
Burgess,
safety, I guess.
Wallace,
Mm.
Geno
The
Stone.
reason I said that is because Hassan Reddick has been awful, like
Yeah.
just downright awful, and I thought he should have been an edge coming out.
I
So
was
I
gonna
don't know.
say that's what happens
Like
when you move edge
they're
rushers
playing
to
him one
inside.
on one against tight ends, and that's why Arizona is the best offense to play, or Arizona's the best defense to play against tight ends for fantasy, is because Hassan Reddick is covering tight ends. So if I could find a chess piece type to cover tight ends, which they already have Buda Baker who should be doing that, but he's kind of more so playing a nickel role.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't
Man,
understand what
I
they're
don't
doing.
like the value on the board right now. Linebackers, I'm guessing, is the best. Like they have Jordan Hicks already, but they could use a linebacker as well. I think Hakeem Davis Gaither is the best type of linebacker that they need.
We could check the board here, see if like there's potentially a player that a team might want to move up for. Um, there's nothing really here. I mean, there's no really quarterback team that's
Yeah, no, I
gonna,
don't think anyone's moving up for a quarterback here.
especially here. Yeah, no, we could look back at it. So, what are you thinking here? I like Davis Gaither a lot personally, but
Yeah,
I mean, in the third round here, that's a steal of value because I have him as a mid-second rounder.
go to edge again 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, I like a nine too.
Yeah, I like Bradley and I like Jonathan Grenard's actually my highest rated edge that's currently on the board.
Can we check when our next pick is just so we can kind of see? So we don't pick until 114. So I
I
mean,
think
if
we
we
can get a linebacker at 114 personally, because I think the linebacker class, this is kind of the sweet spot, third, fourth round of it in terms of the depth. I think after the fifth round, there's like absolutely no one left. But
I was gonna
if you want
ask
to
you.
get like kind of like a developmental depth linebacker, I think the third, fourth round is the way you're going to do it. And we've seen in previous drafts, the edge class is garbage after the fourth round.
That's why I was gonna ask you. Would you like? What do you think is better here, though? A Davis Gaither and like a Robinson Willikis, or say a Grenard or an I and uh, a Die Weaver
Davian Taylor is
Taylor?
who I'm
I
looking
like
under
Taylor
Shaq
a lot.
Quarterman. I like Shaq Quarterman and Davian Taylor. I prefer that side of it.
Okay.
Get it because I think those linebacker prospects are not too far off Akeem Davis Gaither and the other guys that are on the board there, Malik Harrison and such.
Heck, for all we know how wacky the sim engine is, sometimes a guy like Davis Gaither
Yeah,
might even
yeah,
make it back
maybe.
to us. So,
Jonathan
uh,
Grenard's my pick.
do
If
it.
you want to go Bradley and it doesn't matter to me.
I like Grenard. I like him.
Okay.
Gibson to the
Yeah.
Colts.
I think they don't have a guy opposite Chandler Jones, and Chandler Jones is old. So their IDL needs some work too. And unfortunately for us, it's not a great IDL class
Oh, it
depth
sucks.
wise.
I was looking at it like earlier today. I was just looking at like the interior defensive lineman, and it literally like falls off a cliff after like 7 or 8. Like that's
Yeah,
how crazy it is.
which makes me think that they're really going to consider Javon Kinlaw or Derek Brown if they're there at 8 in the real draft. Because I think teams do this. Like sometimes people don't want to admit it, but teams really do this. Is they look at the depth of the classes, like which makes me think that some receivers are going to fall in the draft because everyone knows the receiver class is deep. So if
If
teams know that the IDL class is not deep, then Kinlaw and Brown are going in the top 10.
if that's the case, and teams phase off receivers, and a guy like CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Judy, Henry Ruggs falls to Dallas at 17, you know I'm doing a happy dance.
Yeah, I
Because
bet you are.
by the way, we
But
got
yeah, no,
sniped
I
by the
think it's
Eagles.
possible that those guys go really high, like Kinlaw and Derek Brown, because we saw with the linebacker class last year how shallow that was after the two Devons.
Two
You
top
saw
tens.
like Devin White went fifth overall, and Pittsburgh traded up to what, like 10 for
Yep.
Devin Bush. Like people thought like initially, oh, Devin White might go like mid teens, and like Devin Bush might fall to the 20s. Like no, if there's two guys that stand head and shoulders above the rest, like there is in this IDL class, they're going to go high.
And you can definitely say that each of those teams is more than freaking happy with those picks. I mean,
Yeah,
Devin White looks like a future Pro Bowl linebacker, and Devin Bush, you inserted him into that Pittsburgh defense. By the second half of the season, when they had him, when they had Minka, T.J. Watt, like that may have been the best defense in football for the last 8 games. Like they
Yeah.
were winning games with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. They finished
Oh,
8-8
exactly.
this
Yeah.
year. Like that's
If you
insane to me.
if we want to transition back into the Cardinals, I
Yeah,
think the number one player on their board is Isaiah Simmons. I think if Isaiah Simmons is there, they want him very bad. I think that is who they want. And then after that, I think it's like probably a toss up between the whoever their top tackle is, and Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw. So,
so I,
um,
I jokingly brought up Akuda and Simmons in like the admin stream, and this guy read the comments like, "You got to be freaking crazy if you think any of those guys are making it to 8."
yeah,
Like that, like that just shows like players around the league like know what's happening in the draft. They aren't just
mhm.
oblivious, like focus on their own stuff. Like they kind of like
They pretend
understand
like
like
they
what's going
don't
on.
care about it, but they
Yeah,
actually do. So,
literally. Uh, I
okay,
was gonna say here we got sniped on Davis Gaither by the Eagles, of course, because why wouldn't
yeah.
we?
Is Malik Harrison gone? I'm guessing he is.
We
He's
could check. He should be. Yeah. So we
yeah.
got Die, Bocce, Dave. When's our next pick here? We got
I
131.
think we
So
can get Davian Taylor at 131
that's what I'm
personally.
thinking. So like, do you want to double down on edge and take like an Alton Robinson here?
What about IDL? Is the LSU guy there? No, he's
Ooh,
not.
I like Fodu a lot though. I don't know if they have a particular need for him and if he fits their
Lecky
defense, but
Fotu's more of a nose tackle type,
that's
correct?
the yeah, correct. He's a mauler. He's
I think they
literally
have. Don't they have like Corey Peters or something like that? Someone who's like a nose tackle type. I think they're looking for someone more
sure.
athletic, who's more of a penetration style guy. Go to
I
Strobridge
mean,
for a
yeah, I
second.
was gonna say maybe Strobridge might fit that 6'4", 270.
6'4", 267 as an IDL.
That's small.
I kind of like that. I kind of
He's
like the idea of like a. He's kind of like a Leo. He's like
yeah.
a Eric Armstead type.
Yeah. Well, Eric Armstead is huge though.
I've seen Strobridge play. I didn't think he was that small, to be honest, but I'm
Eric
sure he'll
Armstead's
beef up to like 280 or something for the NFL.
I was gonna say Eric Armstead's like 6'7", 290.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Big boy.
I like
Uh
my picks for Strobridge. I have seen him, and he has got some inside outside versatility. So I think he's a nice chess piece for them. They just honestly just need bodies
talent.
on their defensive
Yeah.
line. Like their defensive line is not good. Like it's Chandler Jones and a bunch of slappies. So
Could have been Kim Dichie, but we know how that turned out.
yeah, exactly. And they haven't had a good defensive tackle since freaking Darnell Dockett. So or I
Literally
guess you want to count
3-4.
Calais Campbell as that, but
Yeah. So I mean, looking at the board, that's such a Patriots pick, Ojemudia.
yeah, that's a good pick.
So now we're looking back on the board, and sure enough, our boy Davion Taylor fell to us back. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's
Joe Bacci would have been like the only linebacker that I like as much as like Davian Taylor at this point, and maybe Shaq Quarterman. But yeah, my picks for Davian Taylor for sure.
Let's do it.
Comes in, you probably play like a Will or type
Agreed.
role, and then you have Jordan Hicks who can anchor your defense, and yeah,
Yeah,
this draft is definitely James Morgan to the Bucks.
I
I
was
don't
about
mind
to
that.
say that.
Yeah, this draft for the Cardinals to me is like gotta be like we said, focused on one side of the ball because both your offense and your defense need quite a bit of help, especially up front in both. So
So I mean,
I
we
say
could.
you honestly just build like a foundation type draft. So like draft a lot of offensive and defensive linemen.
I mean, other than the one offensive tackle pick, which is, in my opinion, the
Yeah, I
greatest
would
value on the
like
board.
to. I'd like to
Uh,
address interior here if we
I
can.
mean, we got the front seven like down packed here.
Hmm.
So yeah, I like the value we've been getting. I mean, obviously not going to be my favorite draft here simply because of the draft capital that we do have available to us.
Yeah, yeah. The
But
second round, not having the second rounder is that hurts a little bit, but I mean, you got fucking DeAndre Hopkins for it,
yeah,
so it's all right.
yeah. I mean, you're
And you
fine.
got rid of a shit contract in the process.
I mean, say you don't make that trade with DeAndre Hopkins, you either get a second round tackle and a CD Lamb, or you get a first round tackle and like a Brandon Ayuk,
Yeah, if
one
you
of those
want to even
guys.
draft a receiver, I don't personally think they need another one. Like
Agreed.
I wouldn't
They're
put it as
stacked.
that high of a need. I don't think they need one at all. I think interior O line and corner are bigger needs than receiver.
Agreed. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the receivers they have in the room. They got Kirk, they got Hopkins, Keem Butler, Keyshawn Johnson. Like they got a bunch of
Even
players.
like they still have like Farrell Cooper, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, and like some guys that can contribute on special teams or as like a fourth or fifth receiver if you need it.
I mean, we could check if like a Harrison Bryant might be here, but nah, he was
Yeah, no, the
taken.
tight ends are trash right now. Go interior O line. That's where I'm looking because we haven't addressed it yet, and I think it needs work.
Not with any of those guys.
Yeah, Kevin Dotson's the only one that I actually kind of like, but
Yeah, I mean,
go to the tackles. See if any of the tackles can kick inside.
Mhm.
Trey Adams can play inside, and so can Throckmorton.
That's true. I mean, I don't know.
To me,
What's our next
my pick would be Calvin Throckmorton because I think he does project pretty favorably to be an interior player.
How do you think he makes it to 222?
I don't know, maybe, but probably not. I've seen
Okay.
him. I usually see him always get drafted in this simulator, so I don't think he'll be there
All right.
personally.
Let's just take him and we'll figure out the rest after
Yeah,
that.
and like I said, whether you like this would most likely be either a depth pick or he competes for a starting guard job. So, and the Cardinals' offensive line isn't terrible. Like I know some people think it's awful, but it's not terrible. But you definitely like Throckmorton would provide either a swing tackle role or he plays competes for a guard spot. Like you just need depth and bodies at your trench position. So
Agreed. Looking back on the board here, I mean, we could check defense. We haven't addressed our secondary at all, so I mean, we can look at someone here. Uh, maybe like a
I like
Khalid
Shane
Cuds.
Carter.
I was gonna say I like a Khalid Hudson as well. Check
He's
corners.
very low in the rankings. Jeez.
Crazy to me.
AJ
Red,
Green sticks out to me a little bit too.
let's say Reggie Robinson sticks out to me as well.
Yeah, we can go with Reggie Robinson. Yeah, between those two guys, I think you want to kind of just again just throw some depth at that position because I think behind Patrick Peterson, Byron Murphy, and Buda Baker, you don't really have anything else. So
Literally nothing. Like
yeah, and
nothing.
Buda Baker isn't even really a corner; he's like a safety who plays corner or nickel. So
He's such a good safety. I mean,
yeah,
like
he's a great player, but
yeah.
you don't really have like a fourth corner
No, that's what I mean. Like
or
he's
a
such a
third
good
corner even. So
he's such a good safety that I just want them to end up finding their cornerback three just so they can allow him to play on the back end. Because I mean,
I think the role he plays now is perfect. He's like what
true.
Minka Fitzpatrick should be doing, kind of thing.
What Minka Fitzpatrick's doing for that Steelers defense,
I know,
though.
but like what the Dolphins used Minka Fitzpatrick for is what I thought Minka should be used for. But I guess he does excel in a free safety only role. But
Man. By the way, like if I'm betting, like obviously, like my number one safety is going to be Jamal Adams, but if I'm taking a number two, I think I can't put anybody over Minka at this point.
I take Derwin James over Minka.
Those two are close. Those are the top three, though, easily, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if I can think of anyone else.
Like, I mean, a Harrison Smith or a Thomas, but I think they're
Those guys are a little. They're
older.
still good, obviously, but they're
Yeah,
not like ascending players anymore.
agreed. So, I mean, we just finished our draft here, by the way. Obviously, for the podcast listeners, kind of been hearing us shoot the shit a little bit, but to recap the draft, at the eighth overall pick in the first round, we got Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle from Alabama. At our third round pick, 72 overall, we got Jonathan Grenard, edge rusher from University of Florida. 114, we got Jason Strowbridge. I don't know. Strowbridge. Jason Strowbridge, interior defensive lineman from the University of North Carolina. At 131, Davion Taylor, linebacker from Colorado. Good developmental piece there. 202, Calvin Throckmorton, offensive tackle from Oregon. And then to wrap up the draft, at 222, we got Reggie Robinson, cornerback from Tulsa. Now, Bush, what are your thoughts on this class here? Like, what would you give a grade for it?
I actually like this class more now that I'm seeing it all together. I like at first I thought I was gonna give this like a B minus. I'm gonna give this class a B plus because well, for one, you got to imagine that DeAndre Hopkins is your second round pick because that's what you used it for. So not only that, but Jedrick Wills at 8 is an A overall pick. Like that's a great pick. He's played a lot of football. He knows how to play the position. He's gonna slot in right as your right tackle. It's what he played in Alabama. Jonathan Grenard, this whole class in general is a lot of experienced players. Calvin Throckmorton has like an immense amount of experience. Like he played like pretty much Justin Herbert's entire career. And same with Grenard and Strobridge. Like they're experienced players that can contribute right away if you need them to be. So I actually really like this class. I think I'd give it about a B plus grade. I think they improved their biggest positions of need quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm probably going to give it close to a B here. Again, I love the high-end talent. I mean, Jedrick Will, Jonathan Grenard. I love the players. I think they got them at about their values, personally.
Not a whole lot of value, I would say, is a little bit of a knock on it. It's not like no one crazy fell to us at 72 or 114 or 131.
Yeah, and that's my only real thing really keeping out of like the A- A range. But yeah, I think a B plus, like you gave a B plus, I'm probably gonna give it about a B. I think that's a fair grade for them. Again, you traded your second round pick, obviously got a top 5 overall receiver in the NFL. I mean, that's phenomenal value in itself. So you got to factor that into the grade as well. But yeah, overall, this is the Cardinals 7-round mock draft 2020. This is the first installment of our NFC West series. We will be going over who's next in the order. Would it be the Rams? Yes.
Yes, I think.
Next in the order, second installment will be the LA Rams. So stay tuned.
That'll be quick.
We'll be dropping soon. Yeah, they don't have too many picks. So yeah, go like, subscribe, comment down below if you liked it. What you would have changed about the draft. Say you don't like Jedrick Wills for whatever reason. I don't know how
It's
you
not a
wouldn't, but
sexy draft. I want to point that out real quick. It's not a sexy draft, but it's the draft that the Cardinals need, personally, in my opinion. But yeah, like Danny said, like, comment, subscribe. Tune in starting Monday of the draft week. We will be doing a 3-round mock live with a host, a commissioner. We'll be controlling teams. It'll be really fun. There'll be live trades and all that stuff. Make sure you're checking out the fantasystockexchange.com site is booming right now. Joe Burrow's rookie profile is live. We'll have a couple more up as well that will be kind of segueing into our rookie draft guide, which is 100% free, but we're only offering a select amount of players on the site, on our main site, and then you'll be taken over to our rookie profile draft guide site also. So make sure you check out all the stuff that we're doing, and until then, peace out.
peace out, y'all.